frizzy hair. I just don't care. I do care, but can't fix it. Hi readers, welcome back to my channel Books, Ink, and Paper, and we're going to talk today about the books that I hauled in the month of March. Now you might be thinking to yourself as you're watching this, it's not the end of March yet. You're already doing a book haul, and the answer is yes, and here's why. I'm trying really hard to make this the last books I purchase in March because again, I'm trying to not purchase more than I'm purging or more than I will be purging, and also this is plenty. This is way plenty. So one of these is for both of us, and a couple of these I've already read, and so I bought them to just have them because I didn't have them on my shelves and they're favorites of mine. And then the others are books that I would like to read. So I don't know what to say about like sort of my plan on this, but I do think I've already unhauled 3 and I've gotten, let's see, 8 physical books this month. So I think that that's not so bad, right? 5 in and 2 I've already read. So I don't know. We'll see. There's no guarantee, though, that I won't buy another book by the end of the month. So this one was also one that both my partner and I wanted to read. So I guess I only own half of this one. This is Three Sisters by Heather Morris, who wrote The Tattooist of Auschwitz, which I think I read, and I'm not even sure now if I actually did, because it's not marked as read on my Goodreads account or my Storygraph account. Now, you know I hate these stickers, but this was, as you can see, a bargain book that I got from Books A Million. So I'm going to fuss with that sticker in a little while, but I do like this cover. I like kind of how it's designed and the hands, and so yes, but we were looking at it and actually Lisa was the one who was kind of drawn in by it. So this quote I wanted you to hear is, I want you to make a promise to me that you will always take care of your sisters, that you will always be there for one another, that you will not allow anyone to take you away from each other ever. Do you understand? These are little girls Sibi, Magda, and Livia, and they make that promise to their father to stay together no matter what. Now you can imagine, Livia is ordered to Auschwitz by the Nazis when she's just 15. Sibi is only 19 and follows Livia, determined to protect her, and together they fight to survive through unimaginable cruelty and hardship. And then Magda, who's 17, stays with her mother and grandfather, hiding in a neighbor's attic or in the forest when the Nazis come around. I don't know. Here's my dilemma, and you can help me understand this. I don't know if I should go ahead and read or reread The Tattooist of Auschwitz. And then there's another book after this one as well. This is the third in the series. The second one is Silka's Journey. And so if that's the case, I would love for you to tell me, because I don't want to read out of order necessarily, but I don't know if that's important. So that's your assignment in this wrap up of the books that I've hauled. And it is, of course, based on true stories of what happened during the Holocaust, but it is fiction. And people have really enjoyed these, but they are heartbreaking. So I have to be in the right frame of mind to tackle these as well. But I think that this would be great. And like I said, probably Lisa will read them way before I do. All right, then I also from Book of the Month got Almost Life by Karen Millwood Hargrave. I loved this cover, but even more so, I chose this book because of the premise of it. This is from an author who's also written the book The Mercies, which is, I think, also a bit of a love story, but this one is about Erica and Laurie, which is spelled very differently than mine, in Paris in 1978, and it might be Laure. I'm not sure. So Erica is on her first summer abroad before beginning university in England, and Laurie is studying for her doctorate at the Sorbonne, drinking, smoking too much, and sleeping with a married woman. The two of them meet, and the spark is undeniable. So what happens then, you ask? Their story unfolds, and it looks like, without getting too deep into the details, that a lot of things start to happen to them, as happens in life, right? They have experiences, challenges, struggles, and they will experience some losses, some dreams realized, and some crushed, and other great loves and heartbreaks. But I think this is something I could enjoy. It's maybe a bit of a coming of age, even though they're not tiny when this book begins. But also, I think that this is kind of heartfelt. And it sounded like the best selection for me. So it also has pink end pages, which I think is perfect given the design of this cover, right? And then each year, the Book of the Month Club for members does feature what's called a Lolly Award winner. I don't know where that came from. But each time we have a bunch of books to vote before the lolly is announced, and then the lolly is given to the subscriber for free because they are doing that for us, for our loyal patronage of their company. This one was the one I chose. There were a couple others that I'd already read and didn't want to have, but this one I chose is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by B.E. Schwab. I have loved just one book by B.E. Schwab, and this one's going to be very different than that one book, which is Addie LaRue. However, I'm down for it. I'm down for big books, and I'm down for a little bit more of a fantasy, a little bit more of a challenge. And this one reminds me of Addie LaRue in some ways because it begins about hunger, 1532 in Santo Domingo de la Calzada. A young girl grows up wild and ugly, beauty outmatched only by her dreams of escape. She can only ever be a prize or a pawn in the games played by men, and a stranger offers her an alternative path, and she makes a choice and vows to have no regrets. 1827 London, a young woman lives an idyllic but cloistered life on her family's estate till a forbidden moment of intimacy sees her shipped off to London. Charlotte's tender heart and seemingly impossible wishes are swept away by an invitation from a beautiful widow, but the price of freedom is higher than she imagined. And in Boston in 2019, college was supposed to be her chance to be someone new, so why Alice moved halfway across the world, leaving her old life behind. But after an out-of-character one-night stand leaves her questioning her past, present, future, Alice throws herself into the hunt for answers and revenge. This is a story about life, how it ends, and how it starts. Okay. I have kind of heard a little bit of buzz about this, but I don't want to spoil anything, and I don't want to know too much more except to say that if this is as good as Addie LaRue, I will be delighted. This one is a big, chunky book. It is 530 pages, maybe even 534 or 5. It's good sized. It's going to be a commitment, but I'm up for the commitment. So the next one is a book by an author I really care about. This is a book I have already read. 5-star read for me. Never owned it. Ready to do that now. So this is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. I loved this book. I read this when I was traveling for an event for the work that I had at that time in the nonprofit. I remember clearly where I was when I was reading it. I remember a lot about this book, but one of the things I remember the most was just the way that it was structured and the way that it was written. It's amazingly clever. Let me just say that. But this is a pandemic book. I read this in 2015, so way before the pandemic. However, I remember when COVID hit, thinking this is like what happened to these people. Hopefully, we're not going to end up like these people. So Kirsten Raymond is watching a play, and an actor whose name is Arthur Leander, who's very, very famous, has a heart attack on stage while doing this play. And everyone is, of course, really shocked by that and surprised and scary. It's very scary to see someone have a heart attack in front of you, right? And so then that night, a devastating flu pandemic begins to spread and to show up in their community. What happens here in this bit of a dystopian novel, and a pretty scary one, I would say, is that there's a group of people that band together and travel together through this barren land that they now live in as a result of all of the deaths of all these people. What makes almost everyone die and not certain people? We don't know. They meet people along the way. Are those people good people? Are those people evil people? They don't know. It's very propulsive. It's a twist of fate that none of them ever expected. It does connect them all. And they arrive in a place, this one I will never forget, St. Deborah by the water. And something happens when they go to St. Deborah by the water that really propulses this plot. Is that a good word? Advances this plot. I really like this one, and I would like to reread it this year, hence why I grabbed it. Then I went to my library, and I got actually 5 books from my library's new used bookstore, but 2 of them are for my granddaughter, and I never know for sure if she will be watching, so I'm not going to share those with you, because that's going to be, I think, her birthday gift. But they're 2 that several of you have recommended and talked about, and so when I saw them, they're brand new, they're in great condition, I thought this is a great gift for my sweet Addie. But meanwhile, I did talk about this the other day. I got Gemini, which is the Illuminae Files number 2. Chunky, chunky, chunky life. I'm bleeding, right? But this one is, of course, epistolary, as you might have just seen in the video I did about this. So it has lots of different documents, paragraphs, pages that are just designed or colored. Yes, it is memos from back and forth. I mean, I really love this. The way that this was created is incredible. I feel like I probably would read it very quickly. I usually read epistolary novels fairly fast, but I will have to get to the book 1 first, and I don't own that, so I'm going to try to find it and decide when I actually do want to read it. And do I want to buy it, or do I just want to rent it from the library? Rent it, borrow it from the library for a bit. But this one, the tagline is "The attack on their homeworld was just beginning." So this is after book 1 comes book 2, and then, of course, there's a book 3. Another book I'm going to read for a book club. Hopefully I'll get it done with my friend Kat and her friend Alex. They do a lot of things together on YouTube, and I really appreciate them very, very much. And I will link their channels below, especially Alex's channel, because I think it's not appreciated as much as it could be and should be. So this one I've wanted to read for a while. This is a backlist for me. The Measure by Nikki Erlick. This is Nikki Erlick's debut novel, and someone was just talking about this on YouTube when I was watching this morning, about how it was hard to believe when you read this that this was her debut. This was a Read with Jenna pick, of course, but it's in great shape. My library has great books available, but this one has always, this plot, when I learned about it, has always stuck out with me, because what this book is about is that each person, I think every person in the world, wakes up one morning and they receive a box which holds a string, and the length of the string is the measure of how long they will live. And so I'm certain that I remember that the question here is, do we want to know, right? Do we want to open the box? Do we not want to open the box? Do we want to, just fall apart and crumble? Do we want to do something devious? I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen, except that this is a very popular one. A lot of people I know really loved it, and it's time for me to get to it. I don't know why I haven't read it before now. I do also own this on Nook. However, I purchased the physical copy because lately I've really been preferring physical in many ways. Also, though, because sometimes it's easier for me to stay here at home and read it. Sorry, I'm having to pet Miss Nosy Rosie here. Agnes is with me today. But anyway, I think that this is going to be time for me to read it, and I'm certainly glad that Kat and Alex are doing a read along with this, and then they're going to discuss it after on BookTube. So Let me know if you've read that one, because I hear a lot of people have already. I know they have, and they've loved it. And this one is a book I've already read, but wouldn't mind reading again. A favorite author of mine. Never got it. Don't know why. Saw this and I thought, this is for me. Minding Frankie by Maeve Binchy. I have to be cognizant of the glare. This one, I love Maeve Binchy. If you know me, you know. I love Maeve Binchy. I think I have almost every book she ever wrote. She writes books set in Ireland. They're very emotional. They're very well developed characters. They're unique. They are heartwarming at times, but also very challenging at times as well. So this is about Noel, who lives in a close-knit little Dublin community, and his former girlfriend is terminally ill. And so she leaves their baby for him to care for because, of course, she is dying. And he's never cared for a baby before, and he knows really nothing about caring for a child, much less fatherhood. So he's got a lot going on in his life. I'm sure he's not happy that she is very sick, but also he's got a lot going on. But he has this great neighborhood of family, friends, all kinds of people that really care about him, neighbors. Lisa, his unlucky and loved classmate, moves in with him to take and help to take care of Frankie around the clock. Emily, his American cousin, is there to cheer him up. Dr. Hatt, who's newly retired, has more time on his hands than he knows what to do with, so he's happy to mind Frankie as well. And Dr. Declan and Fiona and their son, Frankie's first friend, and others are very eager babysitters. So this child, Frankie, is cared for by an entire community. And I just remember this being a delightful book, and I was just taken by it. And like I said, I've never reread it. I haven't reread most of these. I don't think I've reread maybe one. It may be time for me to reread some Binchy, go on another Binchy binge, but in this case, I think this one will prioritize faster than some of the others just because I'm so happy that I got it. Now, Maeve Binchy passed away, so if I were to get onto it, I could read all of her to zero, sadly, and I would like to do that, but there's also a part of me that wants to savor them because once I've read them all, I've read them all. I know you know what I mean, some of you, by this. It is just like, if I don't read them all, then there'll still be something new from Maeve Binchy. But I love this, and I love this design on the cover. I mean, there's Frankie, there's all the people. Yes. This one I'm not going to talk about too much around what I'm going to do and what made me buy it, because I'm having a project coming up. And I'm very excited about this project. But for now, I'm going to share with you the last book that I've ordered, and hopefully the last book that I order for this month is A Night to Remember by Walter Lord. This is an older classic account of what happened in the final hours of the Titanic sinking. And Walter Lord wrote this, like I said, a while ago. He died in 2002, but I want to say that this came out, but let me not tell you the wrong thing. I always say that. The first copyright was 1955 and then again in 1983. And he goes through a pretty detailed account of what happened, again, toward the end of the ship sinking. So I think it actually begins with maps so that you can kind of see how it was designed. It does set up what they were doing and where they were going. There's the design of the ship. And it's very short. I think it would be easy. It is nonfiction. It would be nice to read some nonfiction once. But again, I have a method to this sort of madness of bringing this in, and it's not related to when the Titanic sunk or anything like that. But I think this is going to be very enjoyable, and I can't wait to share this with you probably next week, I think, because we're in the planning stages. Yes. Okay. That's it. Now, I do have some ebooks that I purchased and some audiobooks that I purchased, but I'm going to do a separate video for those because I don't want to make these too long. And maybe you don't like audiobooks or ebooks, and so that's really, but there are some different ones, obviously. I'm not buying all of them on ebook as I buy them physically too. So I'm excited. I'm excited about some of the ones that I got. By the way, if you're a member of Libro.fm, they're currently having, and this is probably very short-lived, but they're currently having a big sale. And if it's still going on when you're watching this, they have a lot of books that are audiobooks that are on sale for a small amount of money. If you would like to take a look at that, but you don't have a membership and you would like to do that as well, I do have a link always in my description box, so you can join via Libro.fm. So that I think you get a little bit of a discount on your first order, but I can't really remember, to be honest, because it's been a long time since I joined. But Libro.fm is a lot like Audible. It's just owned by some other folks who support bookstores and booksellers as a result of your purchases, which is why it really speaks to me and why I'm still a member after all these years. Thank you for watching today. Let me know if any of these books are books that you've read or on your radar. I would love to know that. Let me know what you hauled in the month of March. Every time I say that, I think of the truck. Let me know if any of these authors are favorites of yours, new to you, if you felt like one of these was really a standout. If you didn't know that these books existed, let me know that too. Like if you were excited about that, because I didn't know that Three Sisters was a thing. I don't know where I was and how I didn't see that, but I didn't. And of course, some of these, like I said, have been beautiful reads for me, and I can't wait to get to them again. If you don't want to leave a comment below, you don't have to. You can leave an emoji. You could leave a spaceship. You could leave a child, a stroller, a measuring cup. I don't know, whatever you'd like, you can leave that as well. If you have not already subscribed to my channel and you would like to do that, I would appreciate that very much. I love to have new followers and new people who are talking to me about books from their perspective and sharing recommendations with me as well. So this is a great community and I'd love to have you. And if you liked this video, if you want to give it a thumbs up, it brings me a little bit of joy in the algorithm, but it also lets me know that you've enjoyed the video as well. That helps me to create content and not to get too far off the rails, just having fun. And that's what we're here to do, is to have fun and read good books. So thanks so much again for watching, for joining me today, and for being with me as long as you have. And as always, happy reading. Bye.